So I've been playing video games basically my whole life, and the series that I've kept on coming back to installment after installment is of course The Legend of Zelda. Every time a new game comes out spin-off from main series, it never ceases to amaze me, except for the games that we shall not name. And one game in particular stands out to me, and that is of course The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game is amazing in a way that plops you into the world filled with thousands of years of history, most of it lost to time, besides legends and ruins scattered across the region of Hyrule. We can see this through the spider's nest of a Godin temple and even Hyrule Castle itself. The little history you find out about these places is very vague at most, including the Zonai ruins. These ruins are located all over Hyrule, from statues, mazes, and if it's what it appears to be in the game's sequel, entire underground temples or dungeons. The biggest concentration of Zonai ruins, however, seems to be in the Faerun region. I've spent countless hours traversing the thick jungles and dodging lightning bolts during the spontaneous thunderstorms to find answers about the Zonai. Suddenly, I wondered, are the Zonai Mayan? Now, it seems like a crazy thing to ask. Of course they're not Mayan. The Zonai are a fictional race in a fictional world in a video game. But I began to look closer at the countless statues and stone structures that dotted the region, and the parallels between the two became more and more clear. If the trailer really is depicting Zonai ruins, then the Zonai were obsessed with this glowing rock called luminous stones, which have a bright greenish blue glow in the dark. This glow resembles the various colors of jade, which was important to several Mesoamerican civilizations. Jade was often used as jewelry, masks, or decoration, and some Mayans even drilled it into their teeth to show their social class. The description of these stones reads, "This mysterious mineral gives off a pale blue glow in the dark, which some believe to be the souls of the dead. Apparently this stone can be used as a base to make special clothing." Spirits of the dead, huh? That kind of reminds me of the Mayan burial rituals where they place jade jewelry and masks on the deceased elites. But that's not the only similarity. Just look at these columns for instance. They seem like nothing at first, but with a closer look, I saw a resemblance to the Mayan stele? Let's go with stele, found all over southern Mexico and Guatemala. These structures had a wide range of uses, from calendars, stories, and depiction of gods or kings. And would you have it? Some of them depict ancient images much like the stele, and some even show the serpent-like figures, which we'll get to in a minute. Further north by the Lost Woods is a small forest covered in some kind of unnatural darkness. Outside the entrance are these two giant owl-like statues that somewhat resemble steles. One of them had been destroyed, whether intentionally or by overtime. Going inside the dark forest, we see smaller owl statues carrying torches for you. As it so happens, owls were a big part of Mesoamerican culture too, with owls in particular being harbingers of death and messengers of the lords of the underworld Xibalba. Even with the theories that these owls symbolize wisdom in the games, it's no coincidence that these statues are most abundant in the dark place, similar to that of the underworld. Along with these owls are statues of boar heads. However, none of these structures prove my theory more than the one of the most prevalent Zonai symbol, serpents. You can't go 2 steps in the Faerun region without coming across these endless amounts of serpent statues or drawings. Serpents also so happen to be one of the trademarks of pre-Columbian Mesoamerica, with the feathered serpent god Kukulkan, otherwise known as Quetzalcoatl, being worshipped all over modern-day Mexico and Guatemala, from the Mayan to the Aztecs, and even going back as far as the Olmecs. I mean, just look at this thing and tell me this isn't a feathered serpent with the swirly designs, the eyes, the mouth shape, and everything. In the game, this is most likely a depiction of the dragon Furiosh, who appears in Lake Hylia in the Faerun jungles. Furiosh is one of 3 dragons in the game who have distinctly Asian origins, from features of the dragon-like legs and serpentine bodies, to the music that alerts the player that a dragon is nearby. Regardless, there's no denying the similarities Furiosh and the feathered serpent in Mesoamerica. And that's not all. I didn't even touch on how the barbarian armor resembles Aztec eagle warriors, and how the name resembles how the Spanish looked down upon the indigenous people, or the Yucatan-like beaches that the Zonai descendants live on, the reference to the Aztec sunstone, or how the Zonai may have been pushed away by other races much like the real-life counterparts, or any other of the thousands of minuscule details about the Zonai. But who cares, right? So what if this fictional race is ripped right out of history? Why should I care if some dusty old ruins are in my video games? Well, I care. And so should you, because the truth is, it's not just a video game. And it's not just some dusty old ruins in my school textbook, because it's real. And like in Zelda, the Mayans didn't just disappear with some dusty old rocks that they left behind. They are still here, every day. Thousands of native languages, including the language of the Mayans, are still spoken to this day. The same being for all of the Western Hemisphere, and even the whole world, which have indigenous groups that have been taken advantage of and forgotten by foreign explorers. They're still here, and the least we can do is remember that.